capital budgeting, we are taking it up. Before we could take up something on time value of money. Say, if time value of money topic is over, then this topic would be straight away we can operate. So we are taking up capital budgeting topic without doing something on time value of money. So now let us just know as how this topic should firstly be handled, and before that let us just know something about future value and the present value. Okay. So before I could do some exercise on this, firstly let me just discuss something about future value. What is future value? Future value is equal to present value into 1 plus r to the power n. This is what our teacher would have conveyed as what is the maturity value of deposit. Maturity value of deposit is equal to principal into 1 plus r to the power n. Same formula only. This one we call it out as principal there in our earlier studies, and this we would have called that as rate of interest, and this one we would have called that as term, number of years. Okay, same thing only. Here this entire formula, that is within brackets, we will call this as compounding factor. What is that? Compounding factor is what we call. So first part of the question, find out future value of cash flows assuming interest rate as 10% for ₹100, consider only for 5 years. So if the term were to be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, the future value would be 100 into 1 plus 0.10 to the power 1. That becomes 110. We are not going to discuss only this future value in capital budgeting, but what we are trying to say is that this tool will be used. 100 into 1 plus 0.10 to the power 2, 121. 100 into 1 plus 0.10 to the power 3 is equal to 133.10. 100 into 1 plus 0.10 to the power 4 equal to 146.41. For 5th year, okay, this is question 1A. Come on, kindly just make note. That is, as part of capital budgeting, we are just learning our 10th class lesson. What is the 10th class lesson? Future value finding. Find out the present value of future cash flows assuming 10% discount rate. Discount rate and interest rate, cost of capital are synonymous only. Question number 1B. They have given you year number 1 flow, year number 2 flow, year number 3 flow, year number 4 flow, year number 5 flow, and they are asking you to find out the present value of year number 1, present value of year number 3, present value of year number 4, present value of year number 5. They are asking you to bring the value at this point. What is year number 1 flow? It is 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. What is their values today? You know the formula, future value equal to present value into 1 plus r to the power n. In the first case, I take up the future value as 100, year number 1 figure. Present value not known, but you know it is 1 plus 0.10, that is for 10% to the power 1. How the formula can be redrafted? 100 into 1 divided by 1.1 to the power 1, which is equal to present value. So, how do we do that in the calculator? 1 divided by 1.1. 0.909091. You can round it up to 4 decimal. So, it is future value into 1 divided by 1 plus r to the power n equal to present value. This one we call it out as present value factor. What is that? PVF. Okay. Compounding factor will be there in the numerator. If that number is pushed into the denominator, then you call that as PV factor. That is present value factor. So now what is that we will be doing? So diagrammatically what I have presented, now I will put it here. Here number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. PV factor 1 divided by 1.1 to the power 1, 0.9091. 1 divided by 1.1 to the power 2. How do we find out 1 divided by 1.1 to the power 2? In the calculator, whatever you have done in the previous occasion, let it be that way. You put only 1 equal to sign. Is there any change? Only when you use the calculator you will come to know. Are you finding any change? 0.8264. Third time you press, that's it. 0.7513. Then 0.6830. 0.6209. So 1 divided by 1.1, you press equal to sign, and thereafter press only equal to sign to get the numbers. If you are not getting that in the calculator, it's not a calculator at all. Throw the calculator out. So what is going to give you convenience is the one that you are going to use. What is not convenient, you have to throw. Correct? No. If toothbrush is there, did you use anything from your childhood that way? Toothpaste. Once it is not used, you throw. No. When sir is saying, it is not that I am having against something against that calculator. What is not useful, you should throw. Are they not doing? What is not useful? Tanga Kalishwaran Papa. அப்படி தூக்கிடுவான். அவன் சொல்றான் ஏதோ ஒன்று. ஸோ ஆனால் தூக்கி போடணும். கொடுங்க, அதில் ஏதாவது சரி பண்ண முடியுமா பார்ப்போம். அடுத்த ரூபா third time. Okay. Then it is good. So we should only mend our ways to use it. அப்படியே மாத்திடலாம். Cash flow 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. This cash flow is the usage that we have in the case of ஒரு நிமிஷம் பேச வேண்டாம். This is future value. So now let us just bring out the present value. What is the present value? 100 into 0.9091. 90.91. Next 200 into 0.8264. 0.1. சண்டைப்படாதீங்க. Next, 225 point. 273.22. 304.5. Okay. Now you can effect a total. If the question is asked for the total of that. Why you can total is that because all these cash flows are occurring at the same point of time. Therefore, you can add. Cash flows which are occurring at different points of time, they are reflecting different purchasing value, purchasing powers. You cannot add. But cash flows which are occurring at the same point of time, you can add. And that being the reason as why we are bringing the future values to present value with the help of present value factor. Present value factor formula is 1 divided by 1 plus r to the power n. When the same 1 plus r to the power n is there in the numerator, then it becomes compounding factor. Are you understanding, all of you? Come on, kindly just make note. Draw this diagram also. Have you studied this present value factor before? Younger? Is it fine? Shall I proceed to the next one? So the next items and all that we will take up a little later. Okay. So we want to know what is present value factor and what is compounding factor. The rest of which we will try it out a little later. Now, the core topic of capital budgeting is hinging more on to present value computation as how the future cash flows are to be considered for our analysis. Now, I will give you the background. All of you closely follow. What is capital budgeting? Capital budgeting would involve decision taken as whether an asset is to be purchased or not. On what basis one would say that they got to buy the asset or not? See, the difference between revenue expenditure and capital expenditure is, in the case of revenue expenditure, the benefits are derived immediately. In the case of capital expenditure, the benefits are derived for a little longer period. So, from the very definition of accounting, in accounting, what we say is capital expenditure, here we would just correlate that with the title. It is capital expenditure budgeting. The expenditure is cut and you call that as capital budgeting. So, you can understand as whether the company has got to buy the asset or not, for which we will be taking decision. On what basis we will take a decision? Can you give an example on what basis a person will think of whether he should purchase his own house or continue to live in rented place? On what basis a person will take decision? It is an application of common sense. See, we don't have to just know anything about leverage, anything about ratio analysis. You can think independently. Think out of box. On what basis he will decide? கொஞ்சம் நல்லா கோர்வையா சொல்லணும். So, a person who is just thinking of buying a house, he would just feel like that he is paying that and is living only for that month. But he wants to attain the ownership. What he would do is that he will think of, if I buy the asset, there will be some benefit we would be deriving. What is the benefit he would be deriving? He can avoid paying rent. So, when you have an outflow of cash by year 0, there will be some inflow that he will be getting. That is what you say. So, as far as revenue expenditure is concerned, you derive benefit immediately, only once. But in the case of capital expenditure, you will have enduring benefit. For a long term, you derive the benefit. So, you say monthly rental. Now, I would like to take up not on monthly basis, but on yearly basis. 10,000 is what you have just fixed as the rental payment. 10,000 into 12 lakh and 20,000 rupees expenditure you can avoid. If I buy the asset for say 10 lakhs of rupees, I save lakh and 20,000 rupees per annum. For how many years? So in the case of house, you just find the term is a little longer for our evaluation. Let us just shrink it to a period of 5 years for computational convenience. Instead of taking up the matter as 10 lakhs, I will put this matter as say 4 lakhs. The asset is not available for 4 lakhs. Let us just take some other example. An asset is costing you 4 lakhs of rupees, but it is generating an inflow to you to the extent of say lakh and 75,000. Let us just change the number. When outflow is changed, why not inflow? Lakh and 75,000 rupees per annum. So the asset can be living only for a period of 5 years. Is it beneficial to buy the asset? So like profit and loss account, you just do benefits are credited and costs are debited. Likewise, immediately you just put out one profit and loss account, lakh and 20,000 into lakh and 75,000 into 4. So our calculator will just tell something. How much is that? 7 lakhs. How many years I told? 4 years. 4 or 5 years. You just think whichever is convenient to you. 5 lakhs. 5 years, sorry. 5 years. How much it comes to? 8 lakh? 75,000. What is the cost of the asset? 4 lakhs. So 8 lakh 75,000 benefit, 5 lakhs rupees cost. So how much is that? 4 lakhs cost. Okay, 4 lakhs cost. What is the benefit that you derive? 4 lakhs 75,000. Now your mind would just say, oh, wonderful idea, we'll just buy. But you understand that the time at which you pay for your asset, there is one value that you have assigned for the money. The money that you receive 1 year later cannot be matched with the money that you spend today. Same way, the money that you collect 2 years later cannot be compared with the money that you have spent today. So this way, every inflow in each one of those years cannot be compared with the money that you spent for purchase of asset. Then what is the way out? So just because you are, say, normally any people for that matter in this world, if a person is heaped with always his defects, you are not just coming in time. You are just bunking the class. You are not doing assignment. You are not coming prepared, grooming well properly. You are just not keeping your notebook properly. You are not bringing your calculator. Nice calculators you are not bringing. Something if you just talk about a person you are doing, that person will be just staring at you. I am like that. What is the problem? My dad, mom, they have not commented anything. You are just making all these comments. I just don't like you. I just don't like this course at all. But no, you should always not talk that way, even if a person is having a defect. No person in this world is perfect. Almighty is that way. Everybody is subject to some defects only. So, with that defect, what best you can achieve is what you have to look at. He is the best manager. So, what you should do is that, okay, don't add the sum up, 1,75,000 into 5, don't multiply that way. What you do is that, we have just done this exercise. So, year number 1 flow, 1,75,000. You bring it to year number 0 position. Every year cash flow that you get, the savings that you make in your cost, it is going to be a benefit when you have to derive by year 0. This 1,75,000 will not be 1,75,000. It will be less than 1,75,000. Longer the distance that you have from future value to present value, much lesser value is what you will be assigning. You look at the number which was 500. What is the value that you brought it today? 310. Whereas for 100 rupees you brought it to 90 rupees and 91 paisa. So for 500 it is only 310. So longer the distance that you have for the cash flow, much lesser will be the value that you can take it for present value. Then what is it you should do? You sum up all the present value of future cash flows and compare it with the outflow that you are just making. The difference between the two, you have to call that as by a new name. Don't call that as profit. You call that as net present value. What is that? Net present value. All of you say 3 times now.
Net present value. Net present value. Net present value.
Very nice. So what is a net present value concept? Discount your, that is bring your future cash flows to present. That is what you call it out as discounting. What is the name? Discounting. So a person is just coming there to see Bonish. Important personality, no? He is taking consulting. Bonish should not be disturbed at home. He has got a gap between first period to second period. He has got a very important decision to take. Amit Shah takes the advice from Modi. That gentleman I do not know, but he is Modi. He is taking up the decision and he is implementing for the Global development, not Indian development. Modi cannot be restricted to India. And that too, the seating posture and all that, on a side stand two-wheeler, the person is seated. Therefore, the side stand will get fault very soon. So, you can just sit on a vehicle which is on central stand, not on side stand. Since Amit Shah is not in our class, I am not giving that advice free. So, when he is giving fees, then I will give him the advice. You understand? So, please always understand, I am not telling anything bad about any person, because advices are not, people would be just taking it up. Why you have not come? For yesterday's class today, Sandhya sent one big message. I was drenched. I thought I will manage it up. Somehow I just I could manage only for law class. Sorry sir, don't mistake me. Who is the loser? You are the loser. So I really have a hard to find a person is just losing. After attending the class without practice, it is all we are forgetting. Not at all attending the class, getting notes, how you can make it up. Enna solreenga? Ungaloda experience enna? Not at all attending class, what is the thing? It cannot be described at all. Pavam. Not attending the class is a sin. It's a sin. You should attend to class. Mrityunjay not well, but yet he is attending the class. But yesterday his position was so bad, he could not even walk. He was just crawling at home. That itself was not there. So, please always understand, I don't advise, okay? I am a very nice person. So, you understand that future cash flows cannot be taken for comparison. Farhan, few days, Alakano. Akib, Aurangano. So, in one day, we have finished leverage. Leverage class, Madingla. Akib, enache. Did you attend leverage class? You came for that. Please just keep CA as a very important agenda in your life. Wesley, I was there in time, okay? Up to 1:30 we will just go. Don't question me, he's just telling on the other day. Just see how violent the answers were. I was just frightened. I have taken the consultation of doctor. So threatening by a student. So don't ask me that question. Is what he's just telling. I thought Wesley is a cool, witty man. Okay. And that's it. Okay, down. So now, what is it we should do? That 1,75,000 in each one of those years. What is that? In each one of those years, cash flows are to be captured. You have got to pull them. Pull from the future to present. These numbers are hanging on year number 1, N, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You have strings with you. You have balloons which will be 1 year distance, 2 years distance, 3 years distance, 4 years distance and 5 years distance. Have you just played kite flying? Have you just played kite flying? Khatad vittrikingla? Yes or no? No. I would just say, better just go to place where they just play this kite. Have for 1 hour. You will just really enjoy. I will not say it's waste and all that. Enjoy. So, you just release the string. So, immediately you just find a feel that the kite is just moving forward, away from you. But when you want to take it closer to you, you pull it. So, you are just allowing push and pull. If you are using compounding factor, it is push. If you are using PV factor, it is pull. Are you understanding, all of you? So now, the decision as whether it is profitable to buy that asset, when you have to do, you will just do it like this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 only we will keep. We don't want to keep for 5 because more computation. So for example's sake, it is better. We will compute only for 4. Cash flows. We don't call that as profit. We will take it up as cash flow. Why we are taking up cash flow and not profit? Any idea? Why you are taking up cash flows and not profit? See, in all our analysis, in capital budgeting, we will be taking those benefits in the name called cash flows. We don't take up profit. Why we have to call it as cash flow? Why we are not taking up profit? The reason is very simple. When I buy the asset, for me, cash is going out. The benefits are to be matched only with cash inflows. So, in my profit, I deduct depreciation, which is not a cash item. So, therefore, in order to bring out my cash flow, operating cash flow, what I should do is that I should add back to my net profit depreciation. So, am I having adequate amount of cash balance to pay off for my benefits or the cost that we have just bought? 1,75,000. The PV factor at the rate of 10%. What is the first year PV factor at the rate of 10%? 0.9091. Next, 0.8264. 0.7513. 0.6830. Then, what is this discounted cash flow or present value of cash flow? You can just call that way. What is it then we should do? All of you take the calculator. 1,75,000 into 0.9091. How much it is coming to? 144,620. 0.7513 into 1,75,000. 131,478. 0.683 into 1,75,000. It comes to 119,525. What's the total of all this? $5,54,715. Sir, how is it you got the number very fast? I didn't use memory plus. You can just see in the calculator, if I have used memory plus, there should be M at the title. I have not removed memory cancel also. I have not used. How it is to be used to your benefit, now I am going to tell you. Just all of you watch. So, in front of you, I will be just doing the same computation as you have done. But, I have just got the number very fast. Just see, 1,75,000 into 0.9091. Correct? Equal to. I have written 159,093. Next. 1,75,000. I have not pressed memory. Please just check up. I have not pressed memory. No secret operations. Okay? Into 0.8264. What is the number display? 144,620. Then 1,75,000. I'm sorry. Extra zeros I pressed. 1,75,000 into 0.7513. What is the number? 131,478. I have not used memory plus. 1,75,000 into 0.6830. So just got it. சரி ஒரு கதை சொல்லும் பொழுது கதை சொல்லி முடிக்கிற வரைக்கும் நீங்க வெயிட் பண்ணுவோம். உங்களுக்கு கதை தெரிஞ்சா நீங்க முன்னாடி வந்து சொல்லலாம். So now what you have to do is that you press grand total. The grand total will automatically take care of the memory. I have not used memory plus. I am using auto memory of the calculator and I am just bringing out the number as 5,54,715. So, GT has got only for that purpose. If you don't have in the calculator GT, throw the calculator. It is not a calculator at all. Then how many times you will punch? How many times you will punch? It's a waste of time. Say, in an examination condition, you are running against the time. You can't waste the time there. Okay. Now, all of you closely follow. Say, I have mathematics in my side of my mind. I am just doing like this way. A into B plus C into B plus D into B plus E into B equal to, what I can do is B into A plus C plus D plus E. Okay. Here B is 1,75,000, A is 0.9091, B is 0.8264, C is 0.7513, D is, C, D and E, 0.6830. If I sum up the PV factor alone, what is the name through which we call? We will call that as annuity factor. How do you arrive at annuity factor? Annuity factor, for which I have given you in the last page, the PV factor and all that. Here you don't have to take the trouble of looking into the last page. What you can do is that 1 divided by 1.1, press 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 and press GT function. What is the value that you end up with? 1,75,000 into 3.1699. So, what is the value for this? The value for this will be 5,54,714. So, therefore, the cash flows which are uniform and for a particular term, you just call from now on as annuities. What is that? Cash flows which are finite. That being 1,75,000 for a fixed term, say 4 years, you call this as annuities. Annuities are to be multiplied by annuity factors. Now, what are the new terms that we have learnt in this case? So, 3 new things that we have learned. What are the 3 new things that we have learned? A, we have just learnt GT function. That is auto memory. B, what is the next thing that we have learnt? Annuities. What is annuity? Annuity is a fixed amount or fixed amount for a particular for a term of n years. What was the fixed term in this particular case? 1,75,000 for a period of n years. What is the n years? 4 years period. So, instead of multiplying 1,75,000 for each one of those PV factors, it is better that you sum up the PV factor and call that as annuity factor. What is the annuity factor in this case? Annuity factor is 3.1699. Annuities are to be multiplied by annuity factor to make your work easier, quicker. Are you understanding, all of you? Now, the number is 3.1699 multiplied by 1,75,000 should give you the number which is 5,54,715 less discounted cash outflow. What is this discounted cash outflow? The price that you are paying for the asset. What was the price that we have said? 4 lakhs. My benefits are greater than cost. And the difference between the two, we call that as net present value. How much is that? 1,54,715. 715. So we have just learnt not 3, we have just learnt more than that. I will just sum up that. We have just learnt something, that being present value of cash flow, or you call that as discounted cash inflow. And we have just learned something about discounted cash outflow, which is what we have called as dis.co. Okay. Then F. What is the next thing that we have just learned? NPV, net present value. NPV, which is equal to discounted cash inflow sigma minus discounted cash outflow. This is nothing but present value of benefits. This is nothing but cost. Benefit should be greater than cost, and we call the difference as net present value. Are you understanding, all of you? So, where we have started? We have started with future value. We have just started with, next was present, that is compounding factor, then present value factor, and then we have just taken up the matter for capital budgeting. In capital budgeting, we say it is capital expenditure budgeting, whether it is beneficial to buy or not. On what basis you would be deciding? Benefit should be greater than the cost. Isn't it? Benefit should be greater than the cost. So, you are just stepping into bus. You derive benefit. What is the benefit you derive? I travel. The cost is affordable. I can pay. So, therefore, I am entering that way. I just feel like that I should just take up metro. What is that I will pay? I will pay 100 rupees. The benefit I derive. What is that? From Coimbatore to airport. Just in 15 minutes time I can cross. If I have to just go by Uber or what is this other one? Ola, or by Fast Track, or by STC, yeah? Or by bus, or by auto. My charges are much greater than, or share auto. My charges are greater than the charge that I pay to metro. I reach airport and board the flight, I am just going to Delhi. If I am just getting into Ola and all that, in the traffic jam I am caught. I am just under great stress and pressure, and I miss the flight. So what is the meaning in having all this car when you have a traffic jam like that? So best is what? Metro. So in the metro train, I just find it's a very costly train. I am only one of the few passengers traveling. Next time I will take a security guard for my security. Very hardly I find. So many lakhs worth of metro train in which I am traveling by paying only 100 rupees. And I just get the AC facility and announcement of next station facility also. Next train is Alandur. Next station is Alandur. Next one is Meenambakam. Meenambakam adena Pallavarama admari. So you just have all facilities. So Dubai la dhaan nalla irukum. The next station is Burj Khalifa. Solidero. So on either side they will open. So please understand, our benefit should be greater. You just pay the money for film. You just find it is not, benefits are not coming to the extent of money that you spend. So what is that then you tell? You tell your friends, please go and watch, or will you tell, no, don't watch. Shweta, what is that you will tell? Huh? Or whatever benefits I did, whatever experiences I had, let my friends also experience that. Is that the attitude? Or no, let myself be the last person to be affected. Nobody else should be affected, don't go. Is that your attitude? That will be the attitude, no. Benefit should be greater than cost. So, you will not venture out for the second time. Are you understanding? See, for cinema and all that, it is going to cost you less. So, whereas for the asset, it is not like that. You have to double check, validate, and then set for buying. For small expenditure, even if it is wrong decision, we will not be really worried. But for capital decision, lifelong decision, having joined CA, it's really a big decision that we have taken up. And on that, cutting the class, not coming to the class, you are just paying penalty for that. Just come to the class on time, if not in time. Correct? So, you should always be thinking that CA is also like that. It is a big decision that we have taken. Our time is just moving. Time and tide wait for none. So, time will not be just saying, okay, this person has not come. You will not run for 10 minutes. Clock is not get stuck in the place. Don't go to home and all that. It's a waste of time. You have mobile. You just have, Amma, you see my face. You want to have my face seen? No. So, she is just telling, I'm not getting good food and all that without seeing you, baby. So, don't worry. You just say, I am here. You just see how sweet you are. So, come on, you have food. Whether you are telling truth or lies, the other person is happy. So that way you just, okay. Sapte. No. Say you are to your mother you should tell, my sir is scolding because I am seen walking on the road talking to you. My sir is saying, not to talk to you. Cruel, sir. So your mother will tell what he is saying is correct only. So in this rain and all that, you may not know whether it is a surface or a big pothole there. இங்க இந்த இடத்துல ஆக்சிடென்ட் நடந்து ஒருத்தர் சுத்தி போயிட்டாங்க 2015ல the place between that religious institution which is there, from there to Shah and Company, there were some trench which was open and not filled. A lady thought that it is a platform and she just got into that and it was raining heavily and she died. The problem is that even in the rain also, she was மேல குடம் இருந்தது அதை வச்சு தான் உள்ள ஆள் இருக்குன்னு கண்டுபிடிச்சாங்க. So she and when she was flushed out, she was having this என்னது அப்படின்னு வீட்டில் போய் நல்லா டான்ஸ் அதை போட்டு நல்லா பெருசா கிட்டுங்க டான்ஸ் ஆடிட்டே கேளுங்க. So in Endiran they have just done no dancer. அந்த பையன் வந்து டான்ஸ் ஆடுவான் அப்படியே பிக் வால்யூம் வச்ச உடனே அதெல்லாம் ஒழிஞ்சு போயிடும். எந்திரன் தானே அது. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி என்ஜாய் பண்ணுங்க. அவன் எப்படி என்ஜாய் பண்ணுவான்? உங்களுக்கு எக்ஸாம் இருக்கா இல்லையா எனக்கு தெரியாது, நான் டான்ஸ் ஆடுவேன். அவன் டக் 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 டான்ஸ் ஆடுவான். ராகவ் தானே அவன்? சரிங்களா? கரெக்டா சொல்லுவாங்க, செக்ஷன்லாம் கேட்டால் கரெக்டா சொல்லுவாங்க. ராகவ் நல்லா இருக்கும் அந்த சீன், பார்த்துருவோம் நம்ம. அதை விட்டுட்டு ரோட்ல நடக்கும்போது நீங்க நேர் நடக்கணும், இப்படி அப்படி இப்படி கீழ் வந்துருவீங்க. அப்புறம் கிளாஸ் வர முடியாததுக்கு இது ஒரு ரீசன் ஆகிடும். If I see somebody walking, talking over a mobile and having this, I will just come near and pull that. Chain snatching mara, அதை snatch பண்ணிட்டு விட. Which one I will not chain snatch? I will snatch this and push. Why? God has given their life only once. You enjoy it to the full. Don't. Why you cut it short? Lot of railway victims. Yesterday, day before yesterday, the victims across the railway track had gone up, and most of them are youngsters putting this one and walking. Train வருது தெரியல, அவர் full volume வச்சிருப்பான்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அடிச்சு முடிச்சு அவனுக்கு தெரியவே தெரியாது, போனதே தெரியாது. ஒரு விதத்துக்கு நல்லதுதான். குத்துயிரும் கொலையுயிரமா இருந்து எதுவுமே பண்ண முடியாம இருக்கிறதுக்கு போய் சேரட்டும். ஸோ ப்ளீஸ் ஜஸ்ட் ஹாவ் யுவர் லைஃப் என்ஜாய். கரெக்ட் தானே நான் சொல்றது? நான் ஏதாவது தப்பா ஏதாவது சொன்னேன்னா ஸோ அம்மா அப்பாக்கு என்ன பண்ணுங்க, ஒரு பெரிய மொபைலை வாங்கி அப்படிச்சு. இப்போ நல்லா தெரியுதா? ஃபுல் ஃபேஸ் தெரியுதா? நல்லா சாப்பிட்டேமா, தோ லட்டு சாப்பிட்றேன் டாக், அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணுங்க. அதை விட்டுட்டு so now that all these WhatsApp call, all these have become very cheap. No distance is a distance, and there is no need to go home at all. CA final முடிச்சிட்டு அந்த கான்வகேஷன் அதோட போங்க, இல்லைன்னா அவங்கள வர வச்சு போங்க. அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும். தீபாவளிக்கெல்லாம் அவங்கள இங்க வர சொல்லிடுங்க. CA is very important. It is a capital budgeting decision is what our sir had told. That's why I got to tell. So Ambattur is not a distance. கரெக்டா? அம்பத்தூர் ஒரு டிஸ்டன்ஸா? இது ஊரு அப்படின்னு சொல்லாங்க ஒருத்தங்க. Come on, kindly make note. You just updated this, no? This one is over. $3.1699, 5,54,715. அதான் விட்டுருங்க, சொல்லியாச்சு. அசட் இஸ் ஈக்குவல் டு லைபிலிட்டி சைட், தட்ஸ் ஆல். இட் இஸ் ஆல் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் அப்ராக்சிமேஷன். போருமா? அப்ராக்சி calculator சரியில்லை, தூக்கி போடுங்க. If calculator is not nice, throw it out. If you feel like that you don't have the heart to throw, what I will do is that I will take all your calculator and ensure that it is all pushed in the front of train. ட்ரெயினில் அழகாக பண்ணி வச்சுட்டு தூரக்கேந்து இது எடுத்துருவோம். இது scroll up or scroll down. In front of a train, and we will take a video on that and post it in the group. What is this A, B, C, D, E, F? Learning. See, actually, here when you take it up, this total is not 3.1699, it is 3.1698 போட்டீங்கன்னா இது 15 வரும், கரெக்டா வரும். Because of that last decimal point, I just increased it by 1, you just get that difference. Are you clear? Say yes or no. See, please understand that this cash inflow should be arrived at this way. Profit before interest and taxation less taxation plus this is after depreciation, okay, minus taxation plus depreciation plus depreciation. One important thing that you should do is do not deduct interest because it is a financing cost. Do not deduct interest because it is a financing cost. One should take only operating revenue and expenses to arrive at cash inflow. Okay. Do not deduct interest because it is a financing cost. One should take only operating revenue and expenses to arrive at cash inflow. So, in lieu of deducting finance cost, we are discounting the cash flow. So, discounting the cash flow and deducting towards finance cost are synonymous. They are one and the same. Now, I will give you an example. If you do both, then it will be duplication. Deducting interest and then discounting it after that will be double count on the same subject matter. Now, for this case, I would like to take up an example. Project cost 1 lakh. Okay. Borrowings 1 lakh. That means I don't put any money. The entire project is financed by borrowings. Interest rate 10%. This is what we call it as cost of capital. Then years 1, 2, 3, 4. My profit before interest and taxation minus interest plus depreciation, everything 25,000. This is my profit before interest and taxation. Or I will just put it profit before interest and taxation. Put it. Now I will work out interest. Before I could work out the interest, I will note down the principal amount outstanding. What is my outstanding? Borrowing will be 1 lakh. What is the interest? Interest is 10,000. All of you closely follow. If you are not understanding, please let me know. Principal. How much is the principal? Out of 25,000 rupees profit, I am paying 10,000 rupees towards interest. How much is the balancing amount remaining? 15,000. I am such a faithful person in this world where I don't have any cheating instinct in my mind. I'm so innocent that I would like to pay off the balance amount to the lender. I am the borrower. So how much I can pay? 15,000. How come? In 25,000 rupees I pay 10,000 rupees towards interest. The remaining amount I pay it off as principal. Then what will be my closing outstanding? My closing outstanding will be 1 lakh minus 15,000. I am such a person like you, having no instincts of cheating anybody. Next, what is the interest? 8,500. How come 8,500? Excellent, you are closely following. Innocent person also, same time intelligent. Next, principal amount. How much is the principal amount you pay? Excellent, 26,500. How did you get 26,500? Sir, by calculator only. How means, what are the numbers that you have taken for? Excellent, intelligent and innocent. Very rare breed. Next, closing. 58,500. Tell me what is the interest for the next period? 5850. Excellent. Principal amount. Calculate what pannu. 39,150. Not place like Vivekananda. Vivekananda da appdi vechalam. So Nivetha Vivekananda appdi follow பண்றாங்க. இந்த நிவேதா விவேகா அதெல்லாம் ஒண்ணா வருது பாருங்க, அது வச்சுட்டு சோ அப்படி பாருங்க. கரெக்டா? பாத்தீங்களா? இதுதான் இன்னசென்ட்ங்கிறது. இன்டெலிஜென்டா இருக்கிறது கூட உங்களுக்கு தெரியல. 19,350 outstanding. How much is the interest? Principal? Say, that is what I told. You are all very innocent. I said you are all innocent because I knew. Because, please understand, after paying the principal, you have to retain something for you, no? So, whatever you are having, after having, you are just giving it to others. Padma, so no excitement at all. So what is the figure that you have got to take up for principal repayment? Why it is 19,350? In the figure A, 19,350. Why? Say others have told, what number they have told? 55,000 minus 1935. How much is the other people have just gone? 53,065. Excited numbers. So the lender will be very happy if he is getting 53,065. Why I have restricted this to 19,350? Because that much only outstanding was there. So what you have to do is, the outstanding amount or my income tax, whichever is lower, 19,350. What should be closing outstanding? 0. Now I am providing one extra column. Available for equity shareholders. How much is the sum that is available to equity shareholders? Equal to first one 25,000 minus interest minus principal 0. Second year how much? 0. Third year 0. What is that for the last year? Come on. 33,715. 33,715. So if anybody not knowing about 33,715, please just ask remaining members in the class, because all of them are knowing. Have you got it? Now, what is this 33,315? This I am getting 4 years later. What is the present value of this 33,715? Present value of 33,715 is equal to 33,715 divided by 1 plus 10% to the power 4. Am I right? $23,028. Are you understanding, all of you? Now, what is this figure that is written as 23,028? What is it you understand from this? The present value of 33,715. What is 33,715? Amount available to equity shareholders. Now, I am going to tell you one top class secret, but one promise you people need to make. I am going to give you a top class secret to you, but don't tell to others. Please retain to yourself. Will you do that? Say yes or no. அப்படின்னா என்ன பண்ணணும்? Tell to others. Round 1 divided by 1 plus 10%. What is this I have done now? PV factor only I have just done with the help of calculator. What you are doing, I am doing it with MS Office Excel. Now, discounted cash flow. Now, PV factor, I am multiplying it with PBIT. What is that? I am just taking it up. 1,23,026. Then discounted cash outflow. How much is that? 1 lakh. NPV. Now, you should understand a very important concept. All of you please listen. Important concept is coming up. What is it? Discounting the cash flow. Discounting this cash flow is amounting to deducting interest. What is that we have done? How this 33,715 we have got? Is it after interest or before interest? After interest. Now, this figure is 23,028. What you have arrived at, is it after interest or before interest? See, this figure only we have just brought it to 23,028. Is it after interest or before interest? After interest. So, your cash flow, should that be before interest or after interest? Before interest. So, before interest cash flow, when it is discounted, it amounts to a number after interest. So, therefore, discounting itself should be understood as you are deducting interest. That is, applying the PV factor itself is deducting interest. So, therefore, the cash flow should be before deducting towards interest. If you are deducting in the cash flow arrival interest and then once again discounting, then it will amount to double counting. That is what I said here. What is it we have said? Do not deduct interest because it is a financing cost. One should take only operating revenue and expenses to arrive at cash inflow. In lieu of deducting finance cost, we are discounting the cash flow. So do not deduct what? Interest. Discounting the cash flow itself is amounting to deducting towards interest. So therefore, the cash flow that you have in your computation in capital budgeting should be a number before deducting towards interest, and discounting will be considered as deducting. See, on a figure before deducting interest, when you discount, then this will amount to deducting towards interest. On PBIT, you should deduct interest. On PBT, where you have already deducted interest, if you are deducting interest, once again it is double counting. Are you understanding, all of you? This is one basic thing that you should remember always. So, what is cash inflow? Profit before interest and taxation minus taxation plus depreciation added back. Do not deduct interest because discounting will take care of interest computation. That is the point that we are trying to say. Are you understanding? So, do you want that computation here? Do you want this computation to be noted for this theory? So have you made note of this one? Firstly, note down this theory, and to explain the point only, that Excel I have just drawn. But don't tell to others, okay? That should be top class secret. Have you noted? Is that over? Shall I proceed to Excel sheet? So depreciable assets க்கு indexation கிடையாது. நம்ம capital gains classலயே சொல்லிடுங்க. நீ capital gains class வரலையா? Shall we proceed? மத்தியானம் வர இருக்குல்ல கிளாஸ்? எத்தனை மணிக்கு? 2 o'clock? 1 o'clock? 2:30? 2:30 to? கம்மியா 2 hours? Are you understanding? So, when there is no taxation, there is no need to take up depreciation. So, taxation is a very important factor to count depreciation. When taxation is not there, depreciation you can ignore. Have you noted? So, here we can say whatever we have just discussed. No taxation, no depreciation. So we can slogan shouting, we can just develop. What is that? No taxation, no depreciation. Come on, we will shout for 5 times. No, organized up. Come on, 1, 2, 3.
No taxation, no depreciation. No taxation, no depreciation. No taxation, no depreciation. No taxation, no depreciation. No taxation, no depreciation.
One more. The sweet voice I want to hear. Come on.
No taxation, no depreciation.
One more time.
No taxation, no depreciation.
One more time.
No taxation, no depreciation.
Okay, I am very happy. So, when there is no taxation in a problem, you ignore depreciation computation.